So, have you ever been in a presentation and, your mind just starts wandering, but then maybe later you see one that completely grabs you?
Oh, absolutely. And the ideas just like stick with you for ages afterward.
Exactly. Well, we've been digging into what actually makes that difference, what turns a presentation from just, okay information into something really inspiring, creative, um, effective.
Yeah, we looked at some really interesting reflections on specific TED Talks and also some sort of expert lists about presentation skills generally.
And even skills for, like, making persuasive talks funny, which is a whole different angle.
Right. So the goal here in this deep dive is really to pull out those essential bits. What makes a presentation connect? We're looking at real examples, TED Talk reactions, and these more formal
Trying
principles.
to synthesize it all, basically,
Yeah.
give you a clearer picture of what works and maybe more importantly, why it works.
Makes sense.
Okay, so let's start with one reaction. Someone watched a TED Talk and found it deeply moving. They said it was because of, I'm quoting here, the selected topic, the great detail paid to the presentation, and the implications it suggests to every person.
Wow. Okay, so what jumps out there is that universality, right? The feeling that this applies to me.
Yeah, that personal connection.
And that's huge. Our brains are basically wired to latch onto things that seem relevant to us, to our lives. When a speaker hits on those universal themes, it cuts through the noise.
It reminds me of that idea from the Communication Skills Essentials, how good communication actually boosts our well-being. Feeling understood, getting insights,
You
feels
know,
good.
definitely rewarding. And it wasn't just the what was it was the how. The reflection mentioned storytelling.
Oh, yeah, and a specific joke even. Something about interviewees from Harvard. The punchline was like, when asked about their lives, the participants from Harvard never asked that question. And apparently the audience laughed immediately. That shared laughter, it's like instant proof that the humor landed, made the point stick.
It really is proof, isn't it? Laughter does amazing things in a room. It connects people, makes the speaker seem more, well, human, relatable.
Breaks down barriers.
Exactly, especially with complex stuff. And the reflection also mentioned visuals, like photos showing time passing in that long-term study.
Right, which makes abstract data feel way more tangible, more uh, emotional even. Seeing people age over decades.
Yeah, powerful stuff. And we all appreciate that, don't we? Taking years of complex research and boiling it down.
Totally. The person reflecting loved how concise it was, got the key points from a huge study without reading the whole thing. It's like the ultimate knowledge hack.
But it also surfaced that interesting tension, didn't it? The need for narrative versus the need for evidence.
Yeah, they actually said they wanted more data, like graphs, charts, that kind of thing, for more backing.
Which just highlights that different people in the audience have different needs, right? Some connect emotionally through the story. Others need that hard data to be convinced.
So a really great presentation probably needs a bit of both. Finds that balance.
Often, yeah. Catering to those different preferences.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit. There was another TED Talk reaction, but this one was powerful for a completely different reason. Comedy. Specifically about spam mail.
Ah, yes. That one was fascinating. Taking something universally annoying, like spam, and making it funny.
How does that even work? Why is that effective?
Well, think of it like a pressure valve. We all deal with spam. It's frustrating. Humor creates this shared space where we can acknowledge it, laugh at it together. It sort of defangs the frustration a bit.
Makes sense. And visuals came up again here too, didn't they? Visuals amplifying the comedy.
They did. Underscores how visuals aren't just for serious data. They can lend a punchline, too.
It's pretty cool how connection happens through laughter. The person reflecting, they weren't a comedian or anything, but they were really struck by how that funny approach could reach way more people than, say, just a dry news article about spam risks.
I think humor disarms us. It lowers our guard, makes us more open to the message, even if the topic itself is kind of annoying or serious underneath.
And the reflection said something about the speaker playing with the topic, made it feel more real.
Yeah, that playful engagement, it makes even a mundane thing like spam feel, I don't know, more approachable, easier to think about.
Interestingly, though, just like with the happiness talk, there was that little note about maybe wanting a bit more data to appeal to the more analytical folks.
It keeps coming up, doesn't it? That need to reach different mindsets.
Yeah?
But the main thing from the spam talk seemed to be that mix of humor and a super relatable situation. It just made the whole issue feel less heavy, easier to recognize, and maybe even deal with. A shared laugh goes a long way.
Okay, so we've got these two examples, one moving, one funny, both impactful. Let's try and pull out some common threads. We have this list. 10 qualities for inspiring, captivating, creative, and effective presentations.
Yeah.
First up, clear purpose and message. Seems basic, but why is it number one?
Well, if you don't know where you're going, how's your audience supposed to follow? A clear purpose is like the North Star. It guides everything, what you include, what you leave out, keeps the main point front and center.
Right. Number two, audience understanding. We kind of hit this already with the data versus story thing.
Exactly. You got to know who you're talking to, their background, their interests, what they already know. It shapes your language, your examples, your whole approach. It's about bridging that gap, speaking their language.
Number three, engaging opening. That first impression. How vital is it?
Oh, massively vital. You've got maybe seconds to grab their attention, to convince them this is worth their time. Think about that speaker's smile and the happiness talk simple, but it starts building connection immediately.
Leads right into number four, storytelling. Both talks used it heavily. Why is it such a powerhouse?
Our brains are just wired for stories? Seriously, neuroscience shows they light up more areas than just facts do. Stories are memorable, they trigger emotions, they build that speaker-audience bond. Real examples make abstract ideas click.
Okay, five, visuals and multimedia. Photos, screenshots, we saw how they worked.
Yeah, and good visuals aren't just decoration. They should clarify, reinforce, maybe show data in a new way, or evoke feeling. The key is they support the message, not distract from it.
Number six is audience engagement. Maybe not explicitly detailed in those reflections, but feels important.
Crucial. Keeping people involved, even mentally. Asking questions, using interactive bits, just prompting them to think. It makes it dynamic, not passive. More memorable, too.
Seven, effective delivery. This is the whole package, right? Tone, body language.
Totally. How you say it matters just as much as what you say. Eye contact, a confident but natural tone like that engaging tone in the spam talk, varying your pace, it all builds credibility and keeps people tuned in.
Eight, practice and rehearsal. Seems obvious, maybe.
Obvious but critical. Knowing your stuff cold lets you deliver smoothly, confidently. It also frees you up to manage your time better, maybe handle unexpected questions, just be more present.
Which takes us to nine, time management. Respecting the clock.
Big one. Sticking to your time shows respect for the audience. Plus, rambling dilutes your message. Be concise.
And finally, number 10, confidence and body language. Projecting that assurance.
Yeah. Your posture, gestures, eye contact, they scream confidence or lack thereof. Even if you're nervous inside, projecting confidence helps the audience trust you and your message more.
Okay, solid list for general presentations. Now, let's get specific about the funny ones. Comedic, persuasive presentations. Another 10 qualities here. Number one, exaggeration for emphasis. How does that work for laughs and persuasion?
Well, you take something relatable, like getting spam, and blow it way out of proportion, right? Make it absurd. That absurdity highlights the point in a really memorable, funny way. It makes the problem seem both ridiculous and maybe paradoxically more significant.
Okay. Two, playful analogies and metaphors, adding creativity.
Yeah, comparing spam filters to, I don't know, overzealous bouncers at a club. Unexpected comparisons create funny mental images, makes the point stick differently.
Three, strategic use of puns and wordplay. Tricky, but effective.
When done well, yes, it's smart humor, engages the brain and gets a laugh, makes the message feel clever, memorable.
Four, incorporation of relatable anecdotes, like the speaker's own spam battles, perhaps.
Absolutely. Sharing those personal, funny stories, huge connection builder. The audience thinks, yeah, that happens to me too. Makes the message instantly relevant and persuasive because you've built that common ground.
Five, engaging visual aids, funny pictures, memes.
Yep. In comedy, visuals can be the punchline itself or just amplify the absurdity of what you're saying.
Six, interactive humor, like asking rhetorical questions.
Right. Even simple rhetorical questions pull the audience in mentally, makes them part of the joke, keeps the energy up.
Seven, timing and pauses, the secret sauce of comedy.
Oh, totally. It's an art. Knowing when to pause for effect, when to rush a line, where to land the punchline. Crucial for maximizing the laugh and the impact.
Eight, satirical commentary, using humor to critique.
Yeah, satire is powerful. Using wit and irony to expose flaws or silliness, like maybe mocking the ridiculous claims in spam emails, it makes the audience think critically while they're chuckling.
Nine, self-deprecating humor, laughing at yourself.
Can be very effective for relatability, makes you seem more human, less preachy, builds rapport as long as it feels genuine.
And 10, consistent thematic humor, Like running gags.
Exactly. A recurring joke or humorous theme weaves through the presentation, ties it together, creates a sort of inside joke with the audience, reinforces the message in a lighthearted way.
And you can really see how a bunch of those probably played into why that spam talk felt so effective. The humor wasn't just tacked on, it was woven in, serving the purpose.
Precisely. The laughter wasn't just, entertainment. It was a tool. A
Yeah.
tool for connection, for making the message actually land and resonate.
So, pulling this all together, what's the big takeaway for you listening? It seems like impactful presentations are very rarely just about the information.
Right. It's so much about how you deliver it. You need that clear message, sure, but you also need that engaging delivery, that genuine understanding of who you're talking to.
And don't shy away from connection. Even for serious stuff, finding appropriate ways to inject humor or relatable moments can make a huge difference in memory and impact.
Yeah, it's not about becoming a stand-up comic overnight. It's about using humor strategically to build bridges, make things less intimidating.
Plus, we saw how powerful visuals and good old-fashioned storytelling are. They help our brains grab onto information and hold on to it. If you want people to absorb things quickly and deeply, those are your friends.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, whether you're aiming to inform or persuade or just connect with someone, thinking consciously about these things, clarity, engagement, maybe even a touch of humor, can seriously boost your impact, make your communication stick.
So here's something to think about. Based on everything we just discussed, what's maybe one small thing, one practical step you could try in your very next conversation or presentation to make it just a little bit more impactful, more memorable?
And hey, if you want to see this stuff in action, definitely check out those TED Talks. The one called This is What Happens When You Reply to Spam Email. That's the comedy one. And search around for a TED Talk on a long-term happiness study. Watching them, you can really spot these techniques being used, observe how they do it.